Dun, dun, dun. Welcome to the dark side of BEASTwriter. I'm your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we're going to be discussing the ins and outs of what's happening as we conclude the 2023-2022 season. Obviously, the Raiders are not out of the playoff race yet. Mathematically, there is still a chance, but that chance is slim pickings. However, there's still a chance, which means on any given Sunday, anything can happen. That's why they play the game. So again, I just want to say mahalo and thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for everyone who's been spreading the word to all your family and friends during the holidays. Got a lot of good feedback and picked up some followers for that. So I know it's all a testament to you guys and forwarding the good vibes here in the DOB. So again, I wouldn't be here without you guys in my corner. And that's why we run giveaways every Family Friday. So again, without further ado, we are running giveaways every single Friday. If you guys are new to following me, because we did pick up some subscribers and some followers throughout Christmas vacation or Christmas break, if you will. And we are giving away these socks. These are Devontae Adams socks. These are Max Crosby socks. So you get one from each, black and white, and they're $20 a piece. You can buy them at the Raider Image store if you want to purchase those for yourself. We also are giving these insulated bottle can holders right here. And what's really cool about these is it keeps your drinks nice and cold and fresh. And who doesn't like cold drinks? I don't know. I can't drink like warm stuff. I don't know. All right. And then we're also giving away this Raider Nation rally towel for all who subscribe to the DOB fam. So there you have it. A lot of cool stuff we're giving away. And again, thank you so much as we continue to grow the DOB family. Also, there's 17 of us watching, and people were asking how you can donate. Well, obviously, you can do that through YouTube. There's a super chat and super sticker icon on these live streams, so you guys can go ahead and donate that way. Also, we are on Venmo, so in every YouTube video, whether it be a live stream or a static video, you name it, there is my Venmo attached. Everybody has Venmo these days, so you guys can just send a donation through Venmo. Or if you're unable to do that because times are tough, all good. Just give this video a thumbs up. There's 16 of us watching it right now. And again, that will push the algorithm to other Raider Nation like yourselves and let them decide whether or not they want to watch Dark Side of BEASTwriter or not. Odds are they're going to want to. All right. That's just me being biased. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about some of your questions. Now, if you guys look at the headline, could Tom Brady be on his way to the Las Vegas Raiders? I mean, this is some talk that I want to talk about. I want to talk about this for a lot of different reasons. And, you know, there's some pushback as to the pros and cons, but let's really take it for what it really is. Can you really count Tom Brady out? Yes, we all remember the Tuck rule. And if that didn't happen, would the Tom Brady legacy be what it is today? I'm not so sure. Was it a fumble? I think it was a fumble. You guys know what happened when Charles Woodson strip sacked Tom Brady, but then it was a Tuck rule. And I watched that. I was even a Raider fan. And I was like, man, that looked like a fumble. But it wasn't. And here we are today. And could he be making his way to Las Vegas and basically getting the Raiders a fourth Super Bowl, right? Could it happen? You see all those Super Bowls right here? Could it happen? Could they win number 4? 1976, 1980, and 1983 were the last times the Raiders won the Super Bowl and the only times they won the Super Bowl. And oddly enough, it was against the Vikings, Eagles, and at the time, the Washington Redskins. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. Could it happen? Yes, it could happen. Why? Well, if you look at the Patriot way making its way to the Raider way, and then you look at what Derek Carr brings to the table currently, look, I like Derek Carr, like him as a person, talk to him on a daily basis inside the locker room, but is that enough to keep him in Las Vegas? I'm not so sure. Now, I'm not saying that Derek Carr is a bad quarterback. I just don't know if he's the right quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. And let's be honest about this. Let's be honest about one thing. Derek Carr is a starting quarterback. He will start for some team in 2023 if he chooses to continue playing, because we all know he went on record saying the only one team he wants to play for, and that's a silver and black. I get it. But let's face it. I'm not sold on Derek Carr. I'm not sold on Derek Carr. To me, he is on the same trajectory as like a Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, he's good enough to get you to where you need to be. He's good enough to get you into the playoffs. He's good enough if you have a strong supporting cast to maybe even make a strong playoff Super Bowl run push. But at the end of the day, is he good enough to say when it's the last drive on the game, can he get it done in clutch situations in the playoffs? I'm not talking about regular season. I'm talking about playoffs. Now, you can talk about the fourth quarter comebacks. You can talk about all this and that. But at the end of the day, when you watch the games, should it even have came down to those fourth quarter comebacks throughout the duration of all 4 quarters of a 60-minute football game? Let's go ahead and watch the film. You guys be the judge on that. All right. But Tom Brady could definitely make his way to Las Vegas. There's been reports that it's already set in stone. He's already on his way to Las Vegas, just waiting for the season to end. I would love it. Question was asked to me by a couple beat writers. We talked about it today before the pressers with Coach Graham and Coach Lombardi. And they said, what do you think? I said, you know what? I like it. I like Tom Brady in Las Vegas. 1, because he's very rooted. 2, he's from Sarah High School, right? And, Coach Lombardi's wife grew up in San Mateo. But Coach McDaniel reunites with the quarterback dynamic, and GM Dave Ziegler gets his guy. Look, all I'm saying is this. Look, people talk about, oh, Tom Brady's too old. Look, he's older than I am. All right, and I'm old. But Tom Brady's still Tom Brady. All the haters will say what they want to say, but if you know football, Tom Brady can still play in this game, right? He can still play and play. Oh, look at him. He's having a bad year. He's done. Da, da, da. Look, he can compartmentalize all that stuff, all that nonsense, all that noise, and then push it toward a positive outcome. Why not do that while teaming up with Devontae Adams? Tom Brady to Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, pick your poison. Now, with this Raiders offensive line, do they need a shakeup? Because let's be honest about this. Let's go ahead and talk about why Tom Brady's struggling this year. It's the Bucs offensive line. They're down to the second strings and third stringers. You win games down in the trenches. Hello. And let's run the numbers, right? The numbers don't lie when it comes to Tom Brady, all right? He's a 2000, first of all, who's Tom Brady? Obviously, we know who Tom Brady is, but he's a 2006 round pick, drafted number 199. And as you guys remember, the Niners had multiple draft capital to go ahead and draft the hometown kid who wanted to play for them. Unfortunately, they went after Giovanni Carmazzi out of Hofstra, which, by the way, the program no longer exists. Hofstra no longer exists. I think they were the Flying Dutchman, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. In the 7th round, because Tom Brady went in the 6th, just 13 picks later, they went after Tim Rattay out of Louisiana Tech. Well, Tim Rattay set some records. You guys know the single season game record or single regular season game record that he set. I think it was against the Arizona Cardinals. I was at that game. I actually left early because, yeah. I was like, I'm going to beat the traffic. This game's over. And Tim Rattay just pulls one out of the hat. Anyways, go look at that game. I'm serious. I think he threw for like 500 passing yards or 400 something. It was ridiculous. Anyways, Tom Brady. Let's go ahead and talk about his numbers. 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. 5-time Super Bowl MVP Tom Brady. 3-time NFL MVP Tom Brady. 6-time All-Pro. First or second team All-Pro Tom Brady. 5-time NFL passing touchdowns leader Tom Brady. 4-time NFL passing yards leader Tom Brady. The latter 2 statistics I just thrown at you happened last year. So to say that in 1 year's time that he all of a sudden went from Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you're kidding yourself. This guy can still play in the league. I'm telling you right now, I am a fan of Tom Brady. I would welcome Tom Brady here with the silver and black. On to Six Soldiers says, Beast, would Brady be an upgrade over Carr? What does the film say? Also, if not Brady, who do you like? Any quarterback in the draft that's coming out? Look, I'm a roll tide roll guy. We talked about this again with other beat writers that were there, and we're just kind of, picking each other's brains and whatnot. And I say, you know what? Like, I think Tom Brady's going to be here. I think Tom Brady's going to be here. Now, people are saying, oh, no, it's not set in stone yet. It's not happening. And I'm not saying it's set in stone. But I think Tom Brady's going to be here when it's all said and done. But it's a short-term solution to a long-term problem because Tom Brady, let's face it, he's not going to play till he's 50 years old. He only has maybe 1 or 2. I'd say if we're pushing 3, I don't know. But let's say 1 to 2 years good left in him, right? To make a strong playoff push. He's going to need a stable offensive line. So he's going to need an upgrade up front. I mean, Jermaine Illuminor has been shining in the last few games. Andre James is there. Then I think they need a replacement for Alex Bars, although he's been kind of a nice surprise and good depth spot duty. And obviously, Colton Miller has kind of taken a step back. But all those pieces in place, you're going to need some help for Tom Brady because he's old. Not old in the bad. I'm just saying it is what it is. The dude's old. All right. So you're going to have to give him some help because he didn't have the legs, not like he did before, but he's not going to have the legs to kind of scramble outside the pocket. He's like a standing statue back there. He was like that before, but as you get older, it's kind of harder to move around. So give the guy some help. So on to Six Soldier, thank you so much for the super chat and super sticker. I think that obviously that Carr is on his way out. I don't think he's the answer, the long-term answer. Now watch me be wrong. That's just my opinion. Now I like Carr as a person. I think he's a great guy. I think he is a good starting quarterback in the NFL. I just don't think he's good enough. I mean, when you can get a guy like, let's say, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, right? And you bring these guys in. Now there's talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. You guys know my coverage from covering the San Francisco 49ers and covering Jimmy Garoppolo when he came back here, right? The first time he was traded. And we talked about this, but ultimately, I don't think that Jimmy Garoppolo is the answer either. One, there's already familiarity with the offense. I get it. Coming from the Patriot way, he understands the system. But you already have that in Jarrett Stidham. I'm not saying Jarrett Stidham is on Jimmy Garoppolo's level. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, though, is if you're going to go ahead and make a push, why not go after a guy and shoot for the and swing for the fences and go after a guy like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers rather than going for a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, who you know. I tell you right now, Jimmy Garoppolo is a 1 to 2 read quarterback. He checks it down to his running backs coming on the flat, and his go-to receiver is on a hot route going to George Kittle across the middle down the seam. Other than that, he's not going to scan the other side of the field. In fact, I ran game film on him because it's my job, but when I was covering the San Francisco 49ers as a beat writer, yes, this is a big week for me because obviously coming from San Francisco now with the Raiders. We'll talk about that later. But in this specific live stream, I want to talk about that dynamic on what exactly Jimmy Garoppolo gives you. He's a 1 to 2 read quarterback. Now, you can surround him with a strong supporting cast. And yes, the players love him. And yes, I think if you were to ask me the true professional top five true professional, both on and off the football field, he deals with a lot of crap from a lot of the media members. Not just, I'm not talking about Bay Area. I'm just saying national media, you can't do this, you can't do that. But at the end of the day, the guy wins. But is a stat line predicated on him winning these football games, or is it predicating on having a top 5 defense backed up by a strong rushing attack? Let's not get it twisted, because when you win the time of possession, that's when things happen. Good things happen when time of possession. Impose your will down in the trenches on both sides of the football. That's how the game is won. So what I would do is I would go after a Tom Brady, and then I would go after another guy by the name of Bryce Young. And now there's talk about this. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Joe Florida says, thank you so much. He says, McDaniels is on a short leash. He needs a winner in next season, and Tom fits the bill. Plus, he knows McDaniels' playbook like the back of his hand. And top of that, Shrink is rumored to come back, and he'll go where Tom goes. I like this. Thank you so much, and mahalo for the super chat. And you know what? I think to your question and to your analysis, you're spot on in terms of, I think Tom is going to be here. I agree with you in that. I think he needs to win next season. Coach McDaniels is not going to be on a long leash. Let's not get it twisted, right? The leash isn't so long. But at the end of the day, an empire wasn't built in a day. I said this on the GOB from day one, even before Mr. Davis echoed the same exact words verbatim that I've been saying since training camp. I said this in training camp. Check the Beast receipts. # Beast receipts. Check them out. The green check mark checks out. Why? Because if you know football, if you know philosophical ideologies and schematics and everything, you're going to need the personnel. You're going to need the scouting department. Everyone has to be on the same page. That takes time. There can be like no drop off in production from one scheme to the next and be like, oh yeah, like we were a playoff team last year. We're going to be a playoff. No. How many of those games have you won last year that were this? And now the same storyline is this. It's just going the other way. So to blame it on the coaches and the coaching staff, hey, they're not the ones missing the tackles. They're not the ones missing assignments. They're not missing the last play of the game when it's a cover one robber scheme and Sam Webb gets beat for a touchdown against the LA Rams against a quarterback who they just brought in and made Baker Mayfield. Come on, let's keep it 100. That's called fundamentals, and they teach this in training camp. Why? How do you guys know that? I've been posting videos of it all year. Starting in training camp. And then people, when they started to win, people were saying, oh, man, has the vibe changed with the Las Vegas? I said, no, the vibe has not changed, and that's a good thing. Why? Because leadership comes from the top. If you're consistent in your ways, that's something that people can gravitate toward. If you're kind of inconsistent and you're up and down all the time, that creates a volatile environment. You don't want that. You want something that's stable, right? This is what we do. This is who we are. Do your job. Everything will be going in the right direction, trending in the right direction. And all parties involved have to be on the same page for it to work. Because if somebody's not on the same page, everything's out of whack. Because football is a team sport from the top down. Makes sense? Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. But thank you so much. I appreciate Joe Florida. McDaniels, I wouldn't say is necessary on a short leash, but I will say that he does need to start winning. And how do you do that? Well, he's doing it the right way. So I like Coach McDaniels. I like GM Ziegler. I would give these guys at least 3 years sample of output in order to really see what they have moving forward. Because you remember, when I covered the San Francisco 49ers as a beat writer, and Kyle Shanahan came to San Francisco, what changed? Jimmy Garoppolo changed. Because in 2017, it was like, oh. But then 2018 came the trade, right? And then he went down. 2017 came the trade late in the year. And then 2018, he had that injury against the Kansas City Chiefs, and that ended his season. And then came back in 2019, went to Super Bowl. That's 3 years body of work. So it doesn't matter who your quarterback is, because football is a team sport. Every positional group, every positional coach, from the top down, from the coordinators on in, from the scouting department, they all have to be on the same page. I look at it as a 3-year window for Coach McDaniels. And people say, oh, well, no, that's not. And you put it this way. You try building a startup company here. For all you people who are in Silicon Valley tech, how hard is it to start a startup company? You try to have success in 2 years' time. Do you know what the average is of a startup being successful? 99% of it fails. So it takes time. So that's all I'm saying. It takes time. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just calling it what it is. Give Coach McDaniels time, and everything will be fine. Give GM Ziegler time, everything. I'm telling you, these guys know what they're doing. DeJuan Daniels knows what he's doing. Lenny McGill knows. These scouts know. You guys want to know? Look, we're not just talking about it's from the top down. These scouts know what they're doing. Give it some time. Let it marinate a little bit. But thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right. So that's why I believe Tom Brady is on his way to Las Vegas. Now, what's going to happen in the car? We talked about this earlier on. Well, if he gets injured, money's guaranteed. So is it worth playing this guy the last 2 games of the season because the risk versus reward factor is alive and well? Whoa, I don't know about this. But you play Jarrett Stidham because, again, I like Jarrett Stidham. We joke around all the time. No, but outside of that, I always like Jarrett Stidham. You guys saw my BEASTwriter Plus article that I wrote earlier on in the year once the trade was made, and I went on Raider Nation Radio with my man Vinny B. We talked about Jarrett Stidham and what he brought to the table. I like him. I like Jarrett Stidham. I liked him in training camp. I was like, man, what I analyzed pre-Jarrett Stidham in action, post-Jarrett Stidham, it's on the same wavelength. I like Jarrett Stidham. Now, is he going to be this Pro Bowl starting quarterback? I'm not going to say that. But I am saying he's a very, very viable, winnable, serviceable quarterback who can come in a pinch and pull off a 2 to 3 game span of wins. How many quarterbacks can you say about that? And again, you have one of the best in Coach McDaniels, who puts his players in the best position to make plays. So I'm not worried. But I do like Tom Brady here in Las Vegas. I do like that dynamic. And I like it if they draft 8th, if they draft 9th, and the Raiders want to go ahead and make a move for a top quarterback, there's only 2 quarterbacks I like. I don't like Will Levis. I'll go on record and I'll say it right now. I don't like Will Levis. From what I've seen in Will Levis, I'm going to go ahead and break it down, the pros and cons why, but I don't like it. And if you guys follow me here in the DOB, you guys know mock draft and draft analysis is my number one thing that I love to do. So if you guys think I'm good at covering the daily grind throughout the season, off season, when the NFL draft rolls around, that's where it really kicks in. Because if you follow me on Twitter, and again, everything's out there on social media. I'm not afraid to put my beast receipts out there. I beat Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, Charles Davis, Daniel Jeremiah, Matt Miller. All these guys, beat them. How many years running now? 2 years running, and all those guys, and I incorporate the best of the best. I think those guys are the cream of the crop, my opinion. Lance Zierlein, I go up against all these guys, right? Not afraid to put my analysis up there in real time, cross-checking it in hindsight. You be the judge, but the beast receipt checks out. Look, draft, I'm telling you right now, people are saying, oh man, they're going to have to trade up for a quarterback, top 3. You know what happens? Every single year, there's always that dumb GM who tries to be smarter than everyone else and says, you know what? I'm going to go up and get a quarterback because we need a quarterback and I'm on the hot seat. I can get that. I get that logic. But there's always that one GM who also reaches for need, diminishing the value of the pick. When you do that, you're putting your franchise and setting your franchise back another 2 to 3 years because you cannot miss on these top picks. That's why when you look around the league, right, and you see all these GMs who do a really good job, like John Schneider, he likes to trade away his first-round picks, but he gets good players in the later rounds, right? He gets good players in the later rounds. You look at other guys like Omar Khan, who's in his first year, but before him, it was Kevin Colbert. Since we're talking about the Steelers, does really good in the early rounds. First, second, and third rounds does really good, right? And then you look at guys like John Lynch. He doesn't do as good, but he does hit in the later rounds. So as long as you hit one of the 2, and then supplement that through undrafted rookie free agents and have a good scouting department and quality control to kind of look at these guys throughout the league and say, hey, look, man, let's try to sign these guys who went undrafted before someone else does, because there's probably 30 other teams calling them right now. GM Dave Ziegler, loved what he did. I love what GM Dave Ziegler did. People tend to forget they didn't have a first or second because they gave up all that draft capital for Devontae Adams. And then they rolled over and got Dylan Parham. Great player. I like Dylan Parham. Talked to him the other day. Very, very smart. Gets it from the shoulders up. And he's going to be a Pro Bowl offensive guard in my estimation in 2 to 3 years' time. I like Dylan Parham. Now, I did get bull rushed by Cam Hayward a little bit last week. So he did kind of get thrown off his grass. Kind of got moved off his spot, if you will. But at the end of the day, you're going against Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward's one of the best in the league. One of the best in the league, top 5 IDL. Got my first team All-Pro vote the last 3 years. All right. So you look at it for what it really is. GM Dave Ziegler, hell of a job. People say, oh, Tyler Hall, man, he's balling out of control. Credit GM Dave Ziegler and the scouting department for finding that hidden gem. Right? What about Justin Heron? People forget about Justin Heron. He's coming back from a torn ACL, guys. So when he returns, and then you have Brandon Parker here, I don't know. What is going to happen? All right. Well, thank you so much, Joe Florida, for the super chat. I really appreciate it, man. It means a lot. All right. Victor Burra says, I trust Ziegler. Just have to be patient. Yes. Guillermo Quintanilla says, what's up to my fellow Raider Nation in this chat? Tuning in from Hayward, California, Oakland, born and raised, Raiders for life. All right. Daniel Kim says, salute Beast. Listening as I'm driving. Hope you had a great holiday season. Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate it. And your gift is coming. I'm waiting till after the season concludes because I want to make it nice, your care package. So sit tight. I have more things coming your way, and patience is always the best way because I think you're gonna be happy with what you're gonna get. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Beast Autistic Soldier says, Beast, who's the best kick and punt returner coming out of the draft? Because I want him. That is a great question. I have to watch more film on that, and I will get that answer to you. When I look for a punt returner and a kick returner, that's all about instincts, right? It's all about having the lateral agility, knowing how to use angles to your advantage, and then also understanding speed, right? The speed concepts, right? And there's a lot that goes into it. One, you have to have good vision, right? But two, you have to have that natural ability to make tacklers miss in open space. Some people make it look easy. Some people, it takes a little bit more time. But can you really coach that? Yeah, somewhat. But that's just more instinctive, right? If someone's playing you or playing tag with you and says, catch me if you can, and obviously you can't catch me because I'm too fast and have that lateral quickness, then it's going to be game over. So I will go ahead and break that down for you once the draft rolls around. All right. JD11 says, yo, my bad. I was late to the stream. You're good, man. You are good. Guillermo Continio says, Vic T. Parham will be our center in 1 to 2 years. I love Vic. He has great analysis. Guard center, yes, absolutely. My pre-draft analysis, I said the same thing. My pre-draft analysis, if you guys check it out in the BEASTwriter Plus newsletter, I talked about Dylan Parham, run game film on Dylan Parham. I actually posted some coaches film on Dylan Parham as to why it was a smart play when they drafted him. This is before the season, before training camp even started. Here we are today, and it's checking out. So Dylan Parham, you're making me look like a very smart man because you're versatile enough to play an offensive guard, swing guard, if you will, can put the right side or the left side, but then you also can line up at center. And being lined up at center, it does one of two things. One, you have to know exactly where your help is, and you have to know what everyone else's responsibility is. So you have to be that much more smarter than the guy next to you, because if he doesn't know his assignment, you have to relay it to him. But hey, look, hello, that's the mic. I'm pointing the mic. No, it's not that. That's the mic. He's coming. All right. Chief Rock One says, A-Rod or Brady if we have the opportunity next year. Whew. Both are from the Bay, man. I'm from the Bay. They're from the Bay. That is a tough one. That's like asking me, do I like pepperoni pizza or cheese pizza? I like both. I'm a pizza connoisseur. I love pizza. But if I had to pick one, I would say Tom Brady. I just like Tom Brady. I like the idea of Tom Brady. Tom Brady and Devontae Adams, like with Hunter Renfrow. I mean, just think of if Josh Jacobs returns. I'm just saying, Tom Brady would take this offense to another level. Like, I don't know. But Aaron Rodgers can do the same thing. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers can't do the same thing, because he certainly can. I just like the idea of Tom Brady a little bit more than Aaron Rodgers, although I wouldn't argue with both. I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't mind any one of them. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't know. Raul Suarez says, what do you think about the Raiders drafting Anthony Richardson from Florida? I'm not so high on him. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm not so high on him. There's only two quarterbacks I really like in this draft, CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Of the two, I really like CJ Stroud. Just joking. It's Bryce Young. That was a joke to see if you guys are sticking with my Roll Tide Roll analysis and biases. No, unbiased opinion. I like Bryce Young a little bit more. Covered him since his freshman year. This guy's a beast, man. Like, the guy is a beast. And people talk about his stature. Please. The guy has the physique to bulk up. People who say that, you're missing the point. Like, too many times we criticize things that should often be overlooked. And then the thing that people do is, oh, well, he's 5'10". He's vertically challenged, so he's not going to be a good corner. You know how many good corners there are that are like 5'10", 5'11"? I mean, look at Jair Alexander, and people say, oh, yeah, well, he's the exception. He's not the, it's the exception, not the rule. It's like, no, man, like, it goes both ways. I'm not going to name drop cornerbacks, but I'm just saying, if you look around the league, the top ones, Jair Alexander is a great one, right? Jalen Ramsey's another one, although he's having an off year this year. But you look at guys, Sauce Gardner, Pat Surtain, all these guys aren't like 6'3", 6'4", right? They're not the lanky type of a cornerback that you'd want, but it's just funny because you can nitpick them. The knock on Sauce Gardner was he was a catch tackler and he wouldn't be able to hold up with that frame. Sauce Gardner, my grading system is ranked number 1 in the entire NFL. So say what you want about Sauce Gardner. And he was my defensive rookie of the year pick before the season began. So he's making me look like a smart man. And I would now I'm hitting, I think this is my 4 out of 4 years that I've been right on my defensive rookie of the year selection. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out, because at the end of the day, I like Sauce Gardner. I think he should win. Although Tariq Woolen is good. I like Tariq Woolen too. But give me Sauce Gardner any day of the week. Travis will say Gronk will play next season. Brady and Gronk are a package deal. I can see it. Auntie6 says, Beast, can we get your grades for the players from the Pitt game? Yes, you will get that tomorrow. I have to run coaches film on that today. And once I run the coaches film after this live stream concludes, I will go ahead and run the coaches film on that. You guys know how I'm going to go ahead and break that down, because at the end of the day, you cannot go wrong with watching film. Kyler Murray, are you paying attention? Just joking. By the way, speaking of the Arizona Cardinals, J.J. Watt, if you haven't heard the news, he is retiring. One of the best 3-4 defensive ends to ever play in this game. J.J. Swat, because he can bat balls at the line of scrimmage, creates havoc from, you can line him up at the 0 technique, the 1 technique, the 2 technique, the 3 technique, the 4-eye technique, the 4 technique, the 5 technique. Don't matter. 2-point stance, don't matter. The guy's just a monster. So he had a great career, and man, he was fun to watch. J.J. Watt was fun to watch. Wish he would have got a ring, though. People were going to say, oh, but he didn't get that ring. It's like, man, it's a team sport, dude. There can't be 11 J.J. Watts on the Houston Texans during those years. Man. Salvatore Bruno says, when will we know if Carr or Stidham starts against the 49ers? That's a good question, but I did ask. If you guys follow me here on YouTube and follow me on Twitter and follow me on Instagram at BEASTwriter. If you guys are on any of those platforms, you guys can follow me at BEASTwriter. It would be Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. It's at BEASTwriter. You guys make sure to follow me there, because I will post my videos there, and you don't know which platform I'm going to be using on that particular day. You just know that you're going to get something related to Beast. So make sure that you follow me on all the social media platforms. But I asked Coach Lombardi, getting back to your question on Jarrett Stidham, because I wanted to know what's going on with Jarrett Stidham. I talk to Jarrett Stidham almost every day. Actually, I do talk to him every day in the locker room. And we joke around. Auburn, Alabama, you know how that goes. But no, I told Jared this, from the get-go. I was like, man, you stand tall in the pocket. You don't get rattled, right? You're smart. You're savvy. You make quick, decisive decisions. So that's something that I saw in his game. And I wanted to talk about, and I talked to Jarrett Stidham. You guys, it's all up there for you guys. You guys can go back and see my locker room post interviews on that. But, we talked about what he brings to the table. And I like Jarrett Stidham. And people were saying, oh, when he went in that game that one time, I was excited to see Jarrett Stidham. People oh, yeah. Why are you excited? It's like, can I not be excited to see a guy come in? I'm excited to see what he can do. Is that okay? Is that okay? Here we are. Fast forward to today. He might be starting. I don't know, but Coach Lombardi talked about him, and he says, yeah, didn't want to show his cards, but he did say on any given Sunday, your time can be called. I talked to Zeus White about this. I talked to Jarrett. I know all these guys that are kind of borderline. Sometimes they're healthy scratches. Neil Farrell, Matthew Butler. Talked to Coach Graham about those two players who relatively only combined 13 games played this year. You've got to stay ready, because at any given moment, your time can be called. It could be frustrating at times from the player's perspective, because you don't know when that time is. But if you don't prepare yourself to succeed, you're preparing yourself to failure, right? If you don't go into the game mentally focused, you might be there physically, but mentally, if you're not getting it from the shoulders up, you ain't going to be active on game day. And if you are, you're not going to be getting a lot of reps if you miss one blown assignment. I'm just saying. But that remains to be seen. I don't know. I'm pretty sure people aren't going to want to talk to Jarrett Stidham. But if it was up to me, I would start Jarrett Stidham the last 2 games. I would. And that's not me saying, oh, you're a Derek Carr. I'm not a Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr. But I'm just saying, why not give, at this point in the season, why not give Jarrett Stidham some love? What do you have to lose? You're not winning. So what do you have to lose at this point, right? Like, I'm not trying to throw, I'm just keeping it 100. Like, what do you have to lose? There's only 2 games left in the 2% chance that you might make the playoffs. But there's still a chance. There's 54 of you guys watching it. If you guys like this live stream, give this video a thumbs up. And we are talking Tom Brady to the Las Vegas Raiders in 2023 because that's the talk of the town here at Raiders headquarters. And not just me. I mean, Pat McAfee, didn't he go on the show and saying that Tom Brady to the Las Vegas Raiders is going to happen? So, I don't know. Now watch it not happen. I'm not saying it's a 100% done deal, but I'm just saying, speaking if it was going to happen, because I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but if it was to happen, would I be a fan? Absolutely. You're upgrading at the position. You're giving Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow target share reps that they're probably going to win most of those battles. Because what Tom Brady does that Derek Carr does not is he throws to receiver in stride and on the proper shoulder downfield. All right. People just look at, the completion percentage. I'm not looking at the completion percentage. I'm taking it a step further. Here in the DOB, we like to do things a little bit different. We like to take a deeper dive, if you will, peeling back layers of the onion to really get to the core. If you're a good quarterback and you're a wide receiver, you're going to want to have a quarterback who can throw to you in stride. So you're not missing on run valuable yards after the catch. You're not missing on having to save yourself going across the middle because your quarterback doesn't know how to throw on the proper shoulder to save yourself from getting a big lick from that middle linebacker or that strong safety who's coming down in that cover 3 cloud. All right. You need to make sure that you're protecting the players, but you also need to make sure that you're throwing to the receiver in stride and on the proper shoulder, because that's what's going to make between the 20s work. If you throw behind the receiver all the time, if you throw late, it's not a good look. Every quarterback has their flaws. I'm just saying Tom Brady that's not one of Tom Brady's. Blue says, I take TB 2 of all day, probably get TB of 15 to 17 million. Aaron could be at least 50 million. What's up, G says, why would the Raiders give up Carr if Adams came specifically for Carr? I think Carr is the Raiders quarterback next year. I disagree. What's up, G? You're my guy, but I disagree. I would bet $50. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't bet with you. No. Take it for what it is. You can, whatever. We'll have a talk later. Derek Carr will not be the quarterback of the Raiders in 2023. I'm joking. People are like, oh my gosh, BEASTwriter just say he's not the quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be the quarterback in 2023 or not. I don't think he is, though. If I had to guess, I don't think he is. For a number of different reasons. One, I just pointed out to you. The biggest one is the on-field production. And if you're Devontae Adams, right, and I know you're close friends with Derek Carr, but let's be honest about this. Devontae Adams has been frustrated this year, right? Not with Derek Carr. He didn't go on. He went not like that, but he's been frustrated with how the season has went, right? They're not trending toward a playoff berth. They're not winning these games. Josh Jacobs, same thing, right? Against Pittsburgh. We all saw what happened there. That went viral. That when Vinny B asked him the question, hey, we keep saying the same things, like, he's like, I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't know what to do, right? When you talk about, and there's 54 of us watching right now, give this video a thumbs up. If you like the video on Twitter, if you're watching the video on YouTube, give this video a thumbs up, or on Facebook, give it a thumbs up. and support me, it'd be greatly appreciated, because there are there's 56 now, 56 people watching just here on this platform. But getting back to your specific question, I should do more of these live streams at 1:30 p.m. Unfortunately, I'm unable to do that because I am at Raiders headquarters usually during that time frame on Wednesday through Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, maybe I'll do them at 1:30, my pick six segments. But getting back to your question, I just don't see that happening, because look, if you're Devontae Adams and you can get an upgrade with a Derek Carr, or not with the Derek Carr, with a Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady, and your goal is to trying to win a Super Bowl ring. Friendships aside, this is a business. Friendships aside, this is a business, right? The business side is, hey, look, I want a ring. Friendship side says, yeah, we're friends, but there could be some sort of, I wouldn't say nepotism, but, that's always something that's trending in the NFL, right? The N word, nepotism, right? Oh, you got in because you're such and such's son, or you're related to such and such, or of such and such. But at the end of the day, if the goal is to win a Super Bowl, who would you rather have? Tom Brady or Derek Carr? Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr? And if you're looking toward the future, Bryce Young or Derek Carr? CJ Stroud or Derek Carr? R Vegas is TB12. One Up says Brady about to be 46. He is. And did you know at age 45, he led the NFL in passing yards and passing touchdowns? Yes, that was last year. Just saying it. So age ain't nothing but a number, as Aaliyah would say. And Tom Brady has proven that fact, because you can't hit the quarterback these days. Look, I talked with my man Randy Cross. You guys know Randy Cross from the San Francisco 49ers. My good friend Randy Cross, and we had a podcast together, Don't Cross the Beast Empire, and we talked about this. We talked about Tom Brady versus Joe Montana. We talked about the dynamic of how the rules are different nowadays. You cannot hit the quarterback. So to compare one era to the next, is it fair? Because Rodney Locke can take off someone's head. But in today's NFL, can Derwin James do the same? Oh, no, that's right. He got kicked out. That's right. Just saying. Age ain't nothing but a number. And the way the rules are dictated in a pass-happy NFL where fantasy football and offenses trump defenses, you know dang well that Tom Brady is going to be saved by the referee. In fact, the Jerome Boger is the referee. God forbid another Grady Jarrett on Tom Brady crime is committed. Oh my gosh. You guys don't remember that? Remember early in the year, Grady Jarrett just sacked Tom Brady, and it was a roughing the pass. What? I believe that was Jerome Boger. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jerome Boger is one of the worst NFL's referees ever. He screwed up the Niners-Ravens Super Bowl. We all remember that one. All right, so let's not get it twisted. A lot of penalties in that game. Holding penalty that led to Jacoby Jones going the distance. I believe Bruce Miller was held on that play. Also, after the play was over, Kerry Williams touched the referee, should have been thrown out of it, wasn't thrown out of the game. The holding at the very end to Michael Crabtree, yeah, I guess that's questionable, but not really. I mean, you got to call it how you see it. But again, if you're letting the guys play, you can't just bear hug them for dear life. That's a flag. There's rules in place for a reason. Just saying. On to Soldier say, Beast, what's the trade value for Carr? I think it's a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. I think that's his trade valuation. People are talking first-round pick. No, I don't think any GM would give up a first-round pick for Derek Carr. Now, watch me be wrong. No, when I look at the valuation chart, I don't look at the valuation chart. I throw that out the window because every GM has their own tendency and biases, and my mock drafts will reflect that over the years, right? Already trumped that so many times. Oh, the valuation chart. Okay, stop. It's just a gauge, all right? It's just a gauge. But as I've told you not you, but as I've told the DOB family from day one, the valuation chart is predicated on what your team needs are too. So draft position plays a role. Every draft has its own identity. It might be a very top-heavy wide receiver cream of the crop class, as opposed to a defensive back class, as opposed to edge rushers. So again, based on your needs, the valuation may sway one way or the other based on your team's needs. Everything about that. Only here in the DOB will you get that kind of analysis. That's why you guys follow me. There's 56 of you guys watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up. If you have yet to subscribe to the BEASTwriter here on the DOB, subscribe in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. Holla at your boy. All right, let's keep it going. Our Vegas says Adams, the Raiders before he knew Carr. Also, Carr is scared to throw into a double team. Get Aaron Rodgers. Salvador Bruno says, we have nothing to lose starting Stidham and a higher draft pick at worst case scenario. Besides Purdy versus Stidham, matchup would be intriguing. I like Brock Purdy. There are some beat writers with the Niners who hit me up over the weekend. Like, what do you think of Brock Purdy? What's your grade say on Brock Purdy? You not have grades. Man, I like Brock Purdy. And then they're like, well, what do you like about him? And then obviously I'm staying in tune with the silver and black. And obviously I watch coaches film of all 32 teams. I don't know, like, hey, the guy is, he has the poise. Like, he doesn't get rattled. That's one thing. And he goes through his progressions and he makes decisive, quick decisions. I think that's the one thing that people don't notice is his decision-making is so quick snap. Like, it's like boom, boom. Like, he already knows a plan A, plan B option before the ball is snapped. You can just tell pre to post snap what's going through his mind. You don't know where the ball is going, obviously, but you can kind of see that cognitive brain thinking as the play develops. And then once the ball is snapped, it's pick or poison. It's really fun to watch. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. He ain't Mr. Irrelevant anymore. He might be the starting quarterback for the team moving forward. Trey Lance, I'm not so sure. Guillermo says that the locker room would not love benching Carr. If that was the case, and people, and from a coaching perspective, if you cared what the players thought about your decision, if it was the best decision for the team moving forward, then you're not doing your job. If the decision was to bench Carr in a lost season, in a bleak season, to see what you have, isn't that the same scenario as playing guys like Neil Farrell and Matthew Butler, who have been relatively healthy scratches every other week, and give them more playing time over a guy like Andrew Billings or a guy like Bilal Nichols, right? Because at the end of the day, how are you going to assess the roster in 2023 if you're not even assessing the roster in 2022 in a lost season? Now's the time to give these guys reps so the scouting department can know, hey, look, this is what we need going forward. Let's just focus on these positional needs first and foremost, and then go from the top down. How can you even start that foundational process if you don't even know what you have? You can't worry about players' feelings. You just have to do what's best for the team moving forward. That's what I think. That's what I think. But you're right. I mean, would the fan, or some of the fans probably wouldn't like it either. Players wouldn't like it, I'm sure. But there's some play. I mean, Jarrett Stidham wouldn't mind it because he'd be playing. Some of the other guys wouldn't be like, oh, if Jarrett Stidham's playing, then that means I might get some playing time. Come on, let's talk. Let's keep it 100 here. Travis L says, let's be honest, Carr has gotten by on his looks and personality. Any quarterback with less charisma would have been dropped a long time ago. Well, I'm not going to go that far, Travis. I'm just saying from an on-field performance, I just think that they're better served to go with a guy like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, while having a bridge to the young foundational youth of a Bryce Young. Roll Tide, roll. Look, I can get that guy where you guys want him to be. If you want him to bulk up a little, I got you covered without losing any of that mobility, that pocket presence. We can climb the ladder. Using all the scouting terms. All right. Guillermo continues. How would we get Bryce if we don't have a top 5 pick? Interesting. Stay tuned. I got you covered. I got you covered. Egalitarian too. That's why you follow me. The mock drafts. Check out. Trust. Egalitarian 207 said, "What's up, Beast? What's going on? How you doing? All right. What can we get for trading Carr, 2nd and 5th? Do you think Daniel Jones?" Oh, this is a good one. 907 Raiders. Mahalo for the question. He says, "Do you think Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold are an upgrade for Carr?" No, I wouldn't say that because Sam Darnold's too inconsistent. Daniel Jones is inconsistent. I would rather, to be honest with you, I'd rather keep Derek Carr over those two quarterbacks. I mean, Daniel Jones is, I'd rather keep Derek Carr. If my choices were these three, I'd keep Derek Carr. But one thing that Daniel Jones does do that the other quarterbacks not necessarily so much is he can run. The guy can run. The guy has wheels. So to add that dual threat ability, yeah, that would be intriguing, but I would rather have Derek Carr. Just my opinion. One up, Yo, if he joins the Raiders, will they still take care of him like that? Tom Brady says, Tom Brady in average gets less roughing calls than A-Rod, and the weak era argument against Brady. Remember, A-Rod is playing during the same era as Brady. That's very true. I'm talking about Joe Montana, Tom Brady. 907 Raiders says, but thank you for chiming in. 907 Raiders says, both these quarterbacks can run, but would love DJ. Austin Martinez says, I hear Jets fans want Carr. You know what's funny is we have some Jets fans in here in the DOB because I cover all 32 and it's good for fantasy football, gambling, you guys name it. But football advice, if you will. But getting back to it, yeah, I mean, I guess Zach Wilson is not the answer, right? So what's going to happen there? But then again, Jimmy Garoppolo, Robert Saleh. I can see that happening more than Derek Carr going to the New York Jets. The Super Bowl era will be played. The Super Bowl will be played in Las Vegas next year. We will not play in the Super Bowl game at home if we have Carr on this team. Go get Aaron Rodgers. He's not scared to throw into double teams. Yikes. Look at all these people want Aaron Rodgers. We got Bloody says Aaron Rodgers is not a winner. He hogs the salary cap and is greedy. Go with Brady. 907 Raider says, I like Brian Breesy at defensive tackle and draft. Brian Breesy is very, very good. I liked him when he was a true freshman. Very, very good. I'm eager to see what he can do at the next level. He's scheme diverse, can play in a 34 base or 4-3 front. I'm going to go ahead and break down Brian Breesy once the season concludes, but I've been watching film on him since day one, so stay tuned for that. Bloody please say Brady will maximize team and Gronk might come back with him. Kingtown Raider says, would you consider Gardner Minshew an upgrade? What do you think of going into 2023 with Minshew and Hendon Hooker? I'm not sold on either one. I say go get Tom Brady. My analysis in this live stream is go get Tom Brady. If he wants to come here, let him come here. Don't make the mistake that the Niners did when Tom Brady wanted to go to San Francisco and they said no. Let's get Tom Brady in Las Vegas if he wants to come here and go from there. Because let's be honest about this, guys. Everyone here in Las Vegas would love to see it. And if you think you don't want to see it and he can give you the best chance to win the Super Bowl, question your thinking and put your tuck rule analysis and drama behind and say, look, Tom Brady can win the Super Bowl. Whose numbers go up? Devontae Adams' numbers go up. Rob Gronkowski can probably come here. Darren Waller is now singled up down the seams. Hunter Renfrow is now getting 1-on-1 looks, coming inside and outside the slot, doing the dirty work underneath. And let's say one of those guys gets banged up, because we all saw Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow go down. You still got Gronkowski. You still got Devontae Adams. And who knows who they pick up in free agency, because Tom Brady is a good recruiter. Tom Brady is a good recruiter in itself. People will come to play for Tom Brady just to play with Tom Brady because they want a ring. And if you're it's kind of like the same dynamic in the early 90s under Eddie DeBartolo, when people wanted to play for the 49ers because they can win a ring. Deion Sanders did it. He had offers, I believe, from the Saints, Chiefs, all these other teams. Eagles, I think, were all obviously on that list too. Cowboys are obviously there. And he chose the San Francisco 49ers. Why? Same reason Ricky Jackson came to San Francisco. Same reason why who else came to San Francisco during that time? Tim McDonald. right? They already had Merton Hanks. Eric Davis was already there. Gary Plummer. Ken Norton Jr. The same X factor from a recruiting aspect that Eddie D brought to San Francisco, I think Tom Brady brings with him over in Las Vegas. And that means Rob Gronkowski. Daniel Kiss, TB12 in Vegas to win the Super Bowl in Vegas should have been done yesterday. Oh, I like it. I like it. Our Vegas says Tom Brady and Gronk bring Raiders attitude to the game. Look, we're hyping it up. We're hyping this up. Look, I'm not saying it's going to happen, guys. I'm not saying Tom Brady is going to be in a silver and black uniform. All I'm saying is this. If their team is moving on from Derek Carr, could Tom Brady make his way to Las Vegas? And the answer is yes. The answer is absolutely yes. Would I like that move? To double down on that question, absolutely yes. And for all those reasons, now that we're an hour into this live stream that I pointed out, which is why I believe that Tom Brady, if he is indeed in silver and black uniform next year, can potentially bring a Super Bowl trophy to the Las Vegas Raiders in 2023. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream. I hope you guys liked what I had to say. There's 55 of you guys watching today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and spread the word to all your family and friends on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, and Instagram. And also follow me on any of those respective social media platforms that I just pointed out. You guys can follow me at BEASTwriter. So if you're on Instagram, follow me at BEASTwriter. I don't not only post my silver and black content, but I also post my fitness grind. You guys know I compete as a bodybuilder in the NPC IFBB on Team Ventura, also on Team Evo Gym. We just took first and second here in lovely Las Vegas at Olympia. So holla at your boy. Evo Beast coming through hot. So stay tuned for more fitness videos, more homegrown workouts, more silver and black content. And again, I'll be back on this live stream tomorrow on another Pick Six segment, breaking down the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Las Vegas Raiders game grades. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I know I had a lot of fun. And we will be doing this again tomorrow as we keep things hot here in the DOB. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good day. BEASTwriter out.